If you're in the Southeastern region of the United States and you don't want to spend the necessary time or money flying out west, you might be surprised with the several best options for snow sports close by. The Southeast is most known for its warmer weather activities, but due to their higher elevations, they also have many skiing and snowboarding destinations to explore without breaking the bank. But not all of these resorts are worth your time. So which mountains are the best? In this video, I'll list the top 5 mountains worth riding in the region and highlight what makes them stand out, possible downsides, and their overall mountain experience. Starting off with number 5, it's the only ski resort in the entire state of Tennessee. If that's not unique enough to grab your attention, Ober Mountain is located just outside the Smoky Mountain National Park and is based out of the ever so popular city of Gatlinburg in eastern Tennessee. The area's popularity is mainly for its proximity to the national park and the city attractions of Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. But for a few months out of the year, Ober Mountain is turned into a true winter wonderland in the south. With a base elevation of only 2,700 feet, this mountain is by far the lowest among others on this list. But yet it always seems to be snowing when we visit. One of the more unique qualities for a ski resort in this region is the aerial tramway. That provides access from downtown Gatlinburg directly to the base of Ober Mountain slopes. This is one of the largest aerial tramways in the country, taking its passengers over 2 miles from Gatlinburg up almost 1,500 feet to the base of the mountain. This tramway was built in 1973 to provide a safe and comfortable way for visitors to explore the four-season resort, offering tons of different activities for the whole family. This greatly increases the ease of access to the mountain regardless of road conditions. As for Ober Mountain itself, Ober has 10 different slopes for skiing and snowboarding with varying levels of difficulty. Maybe the most noticeable one from the view of the lodge is a black diamond run called Mogul Ridge. Consistent with its name, this slope is almost always covered with challenging moguls to test your skills on. And the mountain as a whole has a vertical drop of only 600 feet, which might seem good for being so far south, but is by far the least of any mountains on this list. Not to mention the amount of tourists visiting Gatlinburg can quickly create crowding issues on the slopes. And this can vary greatly depending on when you plan to visit. Ober Mountain can definitely be a breath of fresh air for areas with little to no other ski resort choices in the south, like Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee. And they have many other activities at the resort and in the surrounding city if only some in the group are into snow sports. But with just a little more driving, one can gain access to much bigger ski resorts. Coming in at number 4 on this list is a newly opened ski resort just this year called Hotley Point. In years past, this resort was named Wolf Ridge, but recently changed ownership and gone through many changes, even not opening the slopes at all for the 23-24 season in order to allow for various repairs and updates. And this season, Hotley Point is fully operational and it's already surpassing other ski resorts in the region. With its mountain footprint providing 54 skiable acres, this family-oriented mountain is a great place for skiing and snowboarding, located just 40 minutes north of Asheville, North Carolina. One standout feature you'll notice once you go riding at Hotley Point is every trail on the mountain, no matter its difficulty rating, gives its own unique feel. Unlike other resorts we visited where the runs are just a straight path down the mountain, at this resort every trail has fun turns, cutbacks, and undulating terrain to create a great mountain experience. So whether you're just learning to ski or snowboard and staying mostly on the green and blue runs, or if you're a more advanced rider and looking for more challenging routes down the mountain, this ski resort in North Carolina gives plenty of variety even on a smaller mountain footprint than other resorts not on this list. Some of the drawbacks of Hotley Point is in its mostly secluded location. There's not many places to stay near this ski resort, making it more of a day trip destination from the nearby populated cities. Luckily, Asheville is a bigger city in western North Carolina that has plenty of hotels and private housing rentals to choose from, as well as countless good restaurants to eat at. The only downside being it's a good driving distance away. That being said, there is a better lodge environment at Hotley than other resorts rated higher on this list. So it really depends on what matters most to you. The overall mountain experience here was really good, and remember this resort has only just opened. So there's a really good chance improvements will continue being made to possibly enhance this mountain experience even more. The third best ski resort in the southeast is Cataloochee, which is one of the most well-rounded mountains in the region and has the only marked glade trail of any mountain on this list. Glade trails are mostly known for being in areas with tons of natural snowfall, and because of this, there aren't any marked glade trails in the entirety of the southeast outside of the Wildcat Glade Trail at Cataloochee Ski Area. Now understandably, it's still a short trail, but being able to swerve through trees brings a certain type of happiness regardless of the trail length and definitely makes this mountain stand out. Not to mention, this resort also has an entire area labeled as the Meadows, which is an ungroomed side of the mountain that only opens if there's enough fresh snowfall. And although this area wasn't open when I visited, the possibility of having it open is quite exciting to say the least. Some of the less exciting parts of this ski resort start with this mountain being known for getting icy on its slopes. Even though the entire East Coast is nicknamed the Ice Coast, there are plenty of mountains that have non-icy conditions on a regular basis. But specifically on certain slopes that were in the shadow of the mountain at Catalucci would get extremely icy throughout the day, and worse yet is the entire area was also in flat lighting, making it that much easier to crash. The main trails this seems to be problematic on were certain parts of Upper and Lower Snowboard, as well as a green trail called Easy Way near the base. Another drawback for this resort is that the only chairlift going to the top of the mountain was a double chair, which makes getting to the summit much slower than many other mountains higher on this list. There are rumors that this double chair is going to be replaced with a quad in the near future, but we'll have to wait and see if that actually happens. Even with the drawbacks, the overall mountain experience for the typical rider is actually quite good. Having a good-sized mountain that provides a longest run that is 1 mile long is really good for the area. The vertical drop is slightly higher than previous resorts on this list at 740 feet, and regardless of which path you take from the summit to the base, the distance comes to just under a mile, making several different routes long enough to enjoy before getting back on the chair. And the mountain vibe is also highly rated at this resort. Now both these top 2 resorts are highly debated between which is better, and they could easily be switched one way or the other depending on your preferences. Sugar Mountain has a staggering vertical drop of 1,200 feet, which is the highest in the entire Southeast region. They have some of the steepest terrain, their longest run is 2 miles, and they're one of, if not the earliest ski mountain to open for this season, usually around the middle of November, weather depending obviously. With all of these great statistics about Sugar Mountain, there are also downsides to consider. One of the main complaints about what this mountain is lacking is that they don't have any terrain parks at all. So if you're big into freestyle or park riding, don't bother going to Sugar. Also, all of the trails funnel back into the same area as you descend from the summit, which creates a lot of congestion on the green slope of Lower Flying Mile. This can be especially problematic on the busier days. And speaking of the busier days, be prepared to stand in a lift ticket line when you first visit, because they don't have a good online lift ticket system for first-time visitors. Not to mention, there's a high amount of theft currently going on at Sugar Mountain. There are tons of skis and boards being stolen routinely here, so be sure to bring a lock for your gear if you plan to leave it unattended. Now I know that's a lot of potential downsides for this mountain, but Sugar is still a great place overall with 125 skiable acres and high-speed lifts to help you get in as much riding as possible. The overall mountain experience here is fantastic, especially if you can ride on a lesser busy day during the week. Not to mention, Sugar Mountain is the only mountain on this list you can easily get to with any type of vehicle, regardless of the weather. The base of this mountain does not require any steep mountain roads in order to access it, and this may contribute to its busy nature. Coming in at the top of this list as the #1 skiable mountain in the Southeast is Beech Mountain. One of the most unique parts about Beech is it has the highest skiable summit in the entire eastern part of North America, even topping more popular resorts in the Northeast like Stowe and Killington. The summit at this ski resort reaches up to 5,506 feet. Being able to get that much elevation in the east is truly an amazing feat that makes this resort stand out in the area. Beech Mountain not only offers stunning views, but also is a fun, well-rounded mountain with something for everyone. This ski resort was voted the #1 ranked mountain for expert terrain in the state of North Carolina, but it also has many other green and blue trails for all levels of riders. Not to forget, Beech also offers park trails as well as an entire mountain village to explore restaurants, bars, and shops. Now just because I've rated Beech Mountain as the best in the Southeast doesn't mean it's a perfect mountain. Like many places, there's also some downsides to be aware of. Because this mountain is so well rounded, there can be lots of crowds, especially on weekends and holidays. You'll also notice that there aren't any high-speed lifts on this mountain, so the chair rides can seem a little bit longer than other resorts in the area. Another factor to consider before planning a trip is how you're going to get to the mountain. If road conditions are bad, the necessary mountain roads leading up to this resort can be difficult, so be sure to plan accordingly based on the road conditions. Overall, Beech Mountain is an excellent ski resort for anyone in the region, with an awesome mountain vibe, decent variety of terrain to ride, and several unique aspects to enjoy. And that's my rankings for the 5 best ski resorts to ride in the Southeast. Let me know what you think. Do you think I got them right? Do you think others should have been in the list? Tell me your thoughts about it in the comments. And if you want to know more information about the best ski resort in the region, make sure you check out this full review of Beach Mountain.